In this Clear Mind Masterclass, you will discover the 3-step system that helps people reduce brain fog, have sharper mental clarity, and improve their forgetfulness, even if special diets, supplements, and brain exercises haven't been working. Before we start, make sure your sound is turned on and you have a piece of paper and pen handy. What I'm about to share with you will change the way you think about your brain fog and forgetfulness.
Was there a time when you felt mentally sharp and could whiz through your daily to-dos? Or could follow the flow of a conversation and not feel like you were in a haze? You didn't fear like your mind was slipping away. This is for you. If you feel like you're in a fog most of the day, if you have difficulty concentrating on tasks, or your forgetfulness has been slowly getting worse over time.
Maybe you thought your cognitive changes were just because you're getting older, but you believe there might be something else going on.
Or maybe you're even worried that dementia may be in your future. And you visited the doctor, but they say there's nothing to worry about.
But you are worried, and you want to find a natural way to think clearly, sharpen your memory, and improve your brain health.
Our promise to you is that you will discover a 3-step system that will eliminate brain fog, improve your forgetfulness, and sharpen your mental clarity in as little as 8 weeks, and all naturally, without using medications, caffeine, stimulants, or fad diets.
With this program, you will be recalling details, like being able to cook your family's favorite meals again without having to follow the recipe card step by step.
Your thoughts will be clear, so you will stay engaged in the activities that you love.
And with this, you will feel fully present for life and with your loved ones.
And stick with us till the end, because we do have a gift for you that will help you get even faster results.
Can you relate to these next statements? Are there days it seems like you're thinking so slow, or you just can't think clearly? Does it ever seem like you have a hard time processing information, almost like the world is moving faster than you can keep up with? Have you considered quitting your job or the activities that you love because they have just become too mentally challenging?
Are you starting to experience forgetful moments? Are there times you worry about what the future holds because things seem to be getting worse? Have you talked to your doctor about your concerns, had tests done, only to be told there's nothing wrong and it's a normal part of aging? But you're not buying it.
Maybe you've thought about changing your diet, cutting out gluten or grains, or trying the keto diet.
Or even a brain-boosting diet, supplements like MCT oil, ginkgo, turmeric, or other supplements, but haven't gotten the results you're looking for. There's a lot of information out there talking about boosting your brain, so you might even feel confused about all the options.
If so, it's not your fault. Most approaches to dealing with forgetfulness and brain fog focus on the brain.
You may be surprised to hear brain fog and forgetfulness doesn't start in the brain. It starts in the liver.
And here's why we say that. Your liver plays an important role in keeping your memory sharp. One of the ways it does that is by flushing toxins out of your body. It is your body's natural way of eliminating waste.
So we're showing you a lot in this picture. The important thing is the toxins that enter your body get shuttled to the liver to be filtered and sent to organs to be excreted from your body. Some of these other organs include the lungs, kidneys, colon, and your skin.
Now, the toxins that don't get flushed out of your liver end up back into your bloodstream.
And toxins in your blood and lymph can then circulate throughout your body and through your brain, starting the brain fog cycle.
And toxins that circulate in the brain can cause inflammation. You may have heard of it referred to as neuroinflammation. Now, this neuroinflammation is one of the major causes of brain fog.
This is why it's so important to keep your brain free of toxins, and why your brain has its own specialized system for flushing toxins out that we'll tell you about in just a little bit. This special detox system is critical. It works well. The more toxins in your brain, the longer they remain in your body, all placing you at higher risk for further cognitive problems.
These toxins that circulate in the brain cause inflammation. You may have heard of it referred to as neuroinflammation. Now, this neuroinflammation is one of the major causes of brain fog.
And your brain has a special detox system. The more toxins in your brain, the higher your risk for brain fog, memory loss, and other symptoms of cognitive decline. And this is why it's so important to keep your brain free of toxins, and why your brain has its own specialized system for flushing toxins out that we'll tell you about in just a little bit. This special detox system is critical, and it works well. The more toxins in your brain, and the longer they remain in your body, all place you at a higher risk for further cognitive problems.
Is your body keeping up? Brain fog and forgetfulness is a sign your liver isn't flushing out the toxins the way that it needs to.
And it's not surprising if your body is not keeping up. The reason why is today we are exposed to more toxins than ever before. So first, our environment is overloaded with toxins, from the air pollution to pesticides and herbicides, even heavy metals, and the list goes on and on.
Next, our internal environment is overloaded with toxins, from medications to eating foods you can't digest. Even common skin and hair products, as well as makeup and perfumes, are all made up with chemicals that make it inside your bodies.
And lastly, we're living a lot longer, and this increases the amount and duration of our toxic exposures. Now, when we have a properly functioning detoxification system and are exposed to small amounts of toxins, it's no problem for our body to handle. But with all the toxins today and the clogged up system, it's all too much for the body. And this is when we start to see symptoms show up.
Brain fog and cognitive changes used to be considered an aging issue. Now, we're seeing 20 and 30-year-olds experiencing brain fog.
This is why things that people do to try and stop their brain fog and feel more mentally alert don't give them the permanent results, like taking stimulants, caffeine, even getting more sleep. The list goes on. As we see, it's a toxic overload problem, not necessarily a brain problem.
If you don't address this, what we consider brain fog and just simple forgetfulness could become a precursor to cognitive decline.
And the good news is we figured out a simpler way to solve this problem, and we'll walk you through this.
The key to your success is this three-step system that we're going to tell you everything you need to know in this presentation. With this, you'll wake up and have a clear vision for the day without needing cups of coffee.
Your friends and family will be commenting how you're sharp as a tack and want to know your secret.
You'll walk into a room and remember what you went in there for.
You'll be zipping through your daily to-do lists without losing your concentration or forgetting what you were going to do next.
The best part is you don't have to start taking new medications, go on any special fad diets, or join an intensive brain training program. And the only reason we can share this with you is because we've been through this, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Hi, we're Dr. Janelle Udina,
And Dr. Jonathan Nadal.
and we're best known for helping people 45 and older achieve optimal brain health. We're naturopathic doctors, and I got my degree from the country's leading university, the Natural University of Natural Medicine. I also have 11 years of occupational therapy experience, and I obtained my master's degree from the University of North Dakota School of Medicine, Health and Sciences.
I'm also a naturopathic doctor, also from the National University of Natural Medicine. I also got a master's degree in Oriental medicine and am a licensed acupuncturist too.
Even though we're now sought-after experts in this area, we want you to know that things certainly weren't always this way. Let's show you what we mean. Ever since I was little, I always knew I wanted to be in medicine. My first job as a caregiver was working in a memory care unit. This is where my story begins. This is when I became passionate about working with older people and helping them enjoy their golden years. When I decided to become an OT, I focused on elder care and I started working in geriatric rehabilitation and long-term care. I loved what I did, but the hardest part of my job was dealing with people who had memory loss. The clients became very frustrated because they couldn't remember how to do simple things. I watched their quality of life deteriorate, and there was nothing I could do. I met with family after family that were worried and suffering from sadness at their loved one not remembering them. The families were losing hope. I was constantly asked, isn't there anything we can do or try that will stop my parents' memory loss? Unfortunately, conventional medicine only offered short-term pharmaceutical management, but the symptoms and progression continued. And then something amazing happened. I don't know whether it was a stroke of luck or a divine intervention, but I was required to take a continuing education class to maintain my license. There was only one course I could take, and it was on an alternative treatment for pain. I was skeptical because I always thought of alternative treatments as being inferior, maybe in some cases even snake oil. But I learned some really remarkable things, and I wanted to try some of these techniques on my patients to see if they would work. And they did. So much so, I felt like I had found a magic wand. I was blown away by the results. Not only was it helping my patients with their pain, but it was helping the patients in the memory unit when they were agitated. It was helping them calm down so much that many times they didn't even need to be sedated with medications. Although this wasn't a cure by any means, it opened me up to exploring other options besides conventional treatments. And this led me to finding naturopathic medicine and eventually meeting Dr. Nadal. Here, we found out about the philosophy of healing the root cause of disease and bringing the body back into balance. We were fascinated and wanted to learn as much as we could about it to help our clients and families. We realized how limiting conventional medicine was and that there was more we could do instead of just helping people manage their symptoms.
And one of the amazing things we learned was how important the connection between the gut, liver, and brain is. And many diseases start when this connection is not working the way it should. Symptoms can show up differently for different people when this link is not functioning properly. Some may experience weight gain, fatigue, arthritis, even constipation, acne, skin rashes, and so on. These are just a few examples.
So typically, a person will be experiencing some of these symptoms and go to their doctor. The doctor will sometimes run tests and prescribe medications, but it's all focusing on the symptoms and not the root cause. If you never fix the root of where the issue is coming from, you'll be chasing the symptoms forever. And not only that, you will often start developing other symptoms. In fact, when we first see people, they often have multiple symptoms and concerns.
We took all of this information into the clinic and practice and began investigating and addressing root causes. A large number of our clients came to see us because of their symptoms and concerns regarding their brain fog. We started to see common themes and make connections. What we are told is normal aging and there's nothing that can be done, we are actually seeing the opposite. We are seeing clients' brain fog and forgetfulness being cleared and even reversed.
We were seeing clients who had been struggling with brain fog for years, and it was improving. Their brain fog was clearing, they were becoming more vibrant during the day, and their memory was actually getting better. We were seeing clients improve and become mentally sharp and have energy again. Remembering one of my clients, Mary Ann, she came into my office 2 months after following her treatment plan and said, "You're never going to believe this. My brain is working better and faster than it did when I was in my 30s. My daughter asked what happened to me because I was remembering our conversation better than she was." So we documented everything we did for our clients and discovered that there were 3 specific steps that got people the best results.
And that led us to create this 3-step system, which we're going to tell you about in a moment. We've been using it in our practice ever since, and it has gotten people life-changing results.
Imagine what your life would be like if you didn't feel like you were living in a fog of slow motion.
If you didn't worry about your forgetfulness. Imagine approaching retirement and feeling a whole new zest for life. And imagine what your life would be like, enjoying each day, feeling more alive and present with your loved ones.
As we showed you earlier, slow thinking, forgetfulness, and brain fog doesn't start in the brain. It starts in the liver. Here are the 3 discoveries that explain why memory issues and brain fog doesn't start in the brain.
And as we discussed in part of the discovery earlier, a healthy brain actually starts in the liver. So now let's dig into this a little deeper. One of the many jobs of the liver is to produce brain fuel. As we've talked about, the liver is one of the most important organs in the body. It cleans out toxins in the blood and cells. The liver creates a chemical that makes your brain work better. It creates a special chemical with a really long name. In case you're a science lover, its name is glycosyl phosphatidylinositol specific phospholipase D1, or GPLD1 for short. To keep it simple, I'm going to call it brain fuel because that is exactly what it provides the brain. So your liver creates this brain fuel.
Now, this brain fuel strengthens neuronal connections, it improves cognitive function, and increases alertness and clarity. This chemical is responsible for keeping your brain sharp. As long as your liver is producing this chemical and clearing out the toxins, then your brain can stay mentally clear.
So this is why it's important to keep a healthy liver, to clear out the toxins that get gunked up when the brain signals. and it needs to create the brain fuel.
Next, let me tell you about our second discovery. Forgetfulness and memory loss is often caused by bacteria, and you may be surprised to hear where it comes from. There are trillions of bacteria in your body, and these memory loss bacteria can live inside of your gut. Your gut alone has more than 100 trillion organisms that make up the microbiome. They are there to help you digest food and get nutrients from your food.
And while some bacteria are really helpful in your gut, the problem is sometimes the metabolites the bacteria release can leak out through your intestines into your bloodstream. When these metabolites are outside of your gut, your body sees it as a foreign invader and starts an immune reaction. One of the things it does, it triggers inflammation. This happens when the bacteria releases its toxins into the bloodstream, which creates the inflammation cascade. Inflammation can get into your brain where it's not supposed to be and slows down or blocks the messages that your brain is sending. This is why it's common to start forgetting things, feel like your gears are running slow, and some forgetfulness.
Scientists are starting to put more research into intestinal bacteria in the brain. For example, this study in 2020 found just that. The bacteria that left the gut and went into the brain actually created problems such as depression, headaches, anxiety, memory loss, and even Alzheimer's disease. The bacteria in your gut should stay in your gut.
Inflammation also does something else. In the third discovery, we'll tell you about how inflammation interferes with your brain's natural detox system.
Your brain has its own way to remove toxins. It's called the glymphatic system. The system kicks into high gear as you sleep. So there are two phases. The first phase is it carries the toxins and the waste out of your brain, and that prepares it for the second phase, which is to flush your brain with nutrients and keep it healthy.
The problem is inflammation gets in the way of this process. The inflammation holds onto toxins so they can't be released. So it's a double whammy. You have the toxic waste stuck in the brain that can't get out, and there's no way for the nutrients to get in.
There are many studies that talk about brain inflammation and the effects it has on the body. This study specifically showed how brain inflammation causes cognitive decline, and the more inflammation you have, the worse it can be.
You can see how inflammation leads to brain fog, forgetfulness, and memory loss. If it continues long enough, it could increase the risk of dementia or even Alzheimer's disease. Earlier, we talked about how we're exposed to more toxins than ever, and that's why it's so important that your glymphatic system is working optimally.
From these three discoveries, you can see that your liver, gut, and brain are all connected. They are the holy trinity of brain health. You can also see that brain fog is a symptom of an underlying problem that can start in either your gut or your liver. But the good news is, there is a way to address this and get your brain back.
Remember we showed you the slide earlier? Now we'll show you the better way to solve your brain fog and cloudy memory so you can be mentally sharp and thrive.
The key to your success is called the brain building blueprint.
The first step is cleanse. We will remove the inflammation and toxins that are stuck in your brain and other parts of your body. And don't worry, this is really easy to do, no surgery required. After this, you'll already start to notice a difference. Those stuck toxins are probably making you feel worse in other ways than just your foggy thinking.
The next step is to nourish. Here, we are going to provide essential nutrients to all the vital organs and cells. Now that you're free of toxins, the nutrients will get into your brain and you'll start thinking clearer, and you will have an easier time remembering things.
The final step is flourish. This is where your glymphatic system will be working optimally, and over time, you'll notice a big difference. Now, just like Marianne, the woman we told you about earlier, now let me tell you about some more people who have tried the brain building blueprint.
We briefly mentioned Marianne earlier. Here's her story. She first came to see us a few years into retirement. She was mixing up her family members' names. She was struggling to clearly remember details of what she did earlier in the week. Marianne explained it to us that she felt like she was just always a little out of it. Things were moving just a little too fast for her. So we started working together, and after just 8 weeks, she came back to us and said, "You're never going to believe this. My brain is working better and faster than it did when I was in my 30s. And my daughter asked what happened because I was remembering our conversation better than she was."
And there was Becky, 62 years old. She came to us concerned that she was having slowed thinking, difficulty problem solving, and tired all the time. Now, she was a nurse and talked to me about her difficulty doing her job duties. She stated, "I just feel out of it and struggle working through what used to be simple tasks." She was so concerned she was considering retiring early. After 1 month on the brain building blueprint, Becky said, "My brain is back in my body. I don't feel so out of it." After 3 months of working with us, she told us her body was moving without struggle and she made the decision to not retire. A few months after that, picked up her book writing, which she had not done in over a year.
And let us share one more client story with you. Barb came to see us while she was caring for her elderly mother. She described her sensation of feeling like she was zoned out for most of the day and couldn't bring herself to fully wake up. She said no amount of caffeine or sleep could help her. She felt she was very forgetful, and it took her a longer time than usual to retrieve information that she knew. She had previous medical workup that revealed everything was fairly normal. So we started working together. And one of our favorite quotes from Barb, on one of her visits, she says, "The clouds have finally parted, and in the middle, here I am." After clearing her brain fog, we worked for a little while longer to strengthen her working memory and her recall.
So you're here because you're committed to rebuilding your brain health. And if you're anything like us, you put a high value on your time. And you probably enjoyed success in other areas of your life by focusing on things that get you results.
You now know brain fog doesn't start in the brain. It starts in the liver or the gut. And we've shown you the proven system to clear brain fog and improve forgetfulness and mental clarity in as little as 8 weeks.
You've also seen that the old way of doing things simply doesn't work. That the best way forward is by starting at the source of the issue, the root cause.
And you can do this by cleansing the body, nourishing the brain cells, and flourishing in clarity.
Because it's proven to give people just like you the results they want.
You can do this, and we can do this together.
Just imagine how great it will feel when you finally no longer have to struggle with brain fog, slow thinking, and forgetfulness.
You'll feel awake and energized for the day. You'll be able to focus on your tasks and your hobbies.
You will feel learning something new is no longer a struggle because you can concentrate and pay attention.
And if you'd like us to help you, we'd be delighted.
Because there's one thing we know for sure.
Doing this alone isn't easy. You could try, but you'll probably waste a lot of time, money, and needless frustration.
There's a lot of confusing information out there on what you should do. You don't have a proven path to follow. So let's face it, if it was easy enough to do on your own, you probably would have done it already. Successful people figure out what they want and why they want it. Then they ask who, not just how. So let me explain. If you had a leak in your roof, would you figure how to fix it? If you did, that would likely involve you going to Home Depot, buying some shingles, climbing up onto the roof of your house with little idea of what you're doing and somehow fix your roof. Not many people would do that, unless, of course, you love do-it-yourself work and are super handy around the house. I'm not. But this type of thinking really holds people back in life because they try do-it-yourself ways, even in trying to pursue better health, all to save a few extra bucks. And although it may eventually happen, the road is filled with mistakes, lost time, tons of frustration, and eventually a lot of money down the drain. Money is cheap, some would say, but time is expensive. Now, successful people don't waste time trying to figure things out on their own always. They look for their who, the expert who will lead them to the results that they want. They ask, who can help me fix this problem? And you're just a phone call away from the help you need.
So here's exactly how we can help you. Our team has set aside a few slots on our calendar to speak with you personally, absolutely free, about how you can apply these strategies right away and start getting results.
On this free brain solution session, we'll put together a specific plan for your situation to put your brain fog and memory problems in the past.
Just like Marianne, who regained her mental clarity she had in her 30s.
And just like Becky, she regained her mental clarity and was able to keep her job.
And Barb, she was able to experience the clouds parting and feel awake and present during the day.
If you want to have mental clarity and energy, and establish sustainable foundations for brain health, and be fully present for your mostly cherished life events.
And if you want to do it all without pharmaceuticals, stacks of Post-it notes, and strenuous life changes, then this is for you.
Here's exactly how we'll do this together.
First, we'll uncover your brain functioning blind spot. It's the number one reason why you're stuck, and it's probably not what you think.
Then we'll customize a plan that will get you unstuck and give you the results you're looking for.
And finally, we'll determine if it makes sense for us to work together more closely. Let me explain.
So normally we charge at least $400 an hour for our time, but the reason we offer this free, and especially the first call, is because we believe it's the only true way to start a relationship on the right foot. The other reason we offer this call for free is because we know a good percentage of people we speak with will want to work with us so they can meet their goals in the fastest amount of time possible. And if you find the plan we put together helpful for you and want to work together thereafter, we can tell you more about the brain building blueprint. It's not cheap, but it's also not expensive, and it's certainly a lot less than trying to do things on your own time and again, continuing to struggle. And if you're not a good fit, there's no hard feelings.
But before we go any further, you need to know that we can't help everyone. And the last thing we want to do is waste your time if you're not the type of person who will see results.
So this is not for you if you're looking for a magic pill or pharmaceutical fix just to manage the symptoms, or you can't dedicate time to your own healing.
And this is for you if you're tired of being tired and living with a foggy mind. If you're motivated to finding a solution before it becomes a more serious problem. If you're dedicated to following a plan that targets the root of the issue. And if you have the time, self-love, and commitment to your own healing.
If you meet most of these criteria, you have what it takes to get the results, just like Marianne, Becky, and Barb did. So schedule a call with us by simply clicking the link below. There, you'll be able to grab a time to chat, and once your time has been selected, you'll then see a form with a few questions we'd like you to answer so we have a better idea of where you're at and where you want to go. That way, our call together is as productive as possible.
So if you want to see what's been keeping you from experiencing mental clarity, if you want to get a customized plan to improve your forgetfulness and brain haze, and see if working together will get you even better results, then this is for you.
Now, since we only have so much time to do these calls each week, this is a first come, first serve opportunity. So if you're serious about clearing your brain fog and you meet our ideal client criteria, then book your call right now while this is still at the top of your mind. You now have two choices. You can continue doing what you've always done and likely get the same results, or you can jump on the phone and put together a winning game plan that will set you up for success. We've noticed that there are two types of people: the struggler, who figures out what he or she wants and then asks, "How can I do this?" They then spend years trying to crack the code, but it rarely happens. Then there's the person who succeeds, because they figure out what they want and then ask, "Who can help me achieve this?" They find a mentor, a coach, someone who's already paved the path, someone who can help them get the results so much faster than they could ever on their own. So, which type of person are you?
You've watched this entire training and you want mental clarity. And you know you're simply not getting the results you want on your own. So take advantage of this opportunity now.
Simply click the link below and let's do this together.